What you're looking at right here was a test. According to information from inside of the MCU itself, not the characters, the producers, the creators, the writers, this sort of thing. According to information coming from inside, this was a test to see if it's true that they have been making a mistake all along. All right? Now, this information comes to us from Chris Gore over at Film Threat while he was on stream. He noted that his friends at Marvel let him know recently that they're allowed to say now that Marvel quietly cleaned house and removed everybody who could be considered an activist from their roles. Unlike Lucasfilm, who apparently just vacuumed them up into their production house. So Disney apparently not having a good time with their two little baby projects here. Their two little baby properties, right? The kids are fighting, I guess. One wants to go this way. The other one says, no, no, no. This is the way. You like that? You like that joke? This is the way. I'm practicing that so I can do my Pedro Pascal impression. You know, for reasons. Who doesn't need to use a Pedro Pascal impression some point in life, right? I mean, imagine how much trouble it can get you out of, huh? You just sound like Pedro Pascal. People go, oh, okay, say no more, fam. I didn't know you were cool like that. I don't know. I'm just practicing. But what this does give birth to is speculation, right? Is Chris right that this is going to be the end of the woke MCU? Has my prediction about Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom gone up in smoke just like that? I don't know. It's an interesting concept because I believe they're going to reboot the MCU in the all different, all new, all gay MCU. That's what I believe they're going to do. Fully accomplish what the, like the modern Marvel comics are up to. Ironheart, Punisher not punishing his wife, beating the hell out of him and then divorcing him again and leaving him and cursing him and blah, blah, blah. And then, she came back. By the way, if you don't know, the Punisher's wife came back and humiliated him and left him and cursed him for committing all the violence in her name. Yeah. Because that's what they do at Marvel now, right? So it makes me wonder, right? If they cleaned out the producers of the MCU, how come they didn't do that over at the comics? How come the comics are chugging along with all the insanity that they usually have over the last, 20 years, I guess, at this point? It's been that long, guys. It's been that long. So here's what my thinking is on this, okay? You see this cast and crew here. You're going to notice this little lady down here in the back, X23. Online, folks on the internet have been quite excited about this idea. They're very, very into the concept of having X23 become Wolverine. So here it is. This was first popularized by X-Men Updates, and we're going to learn more about them as we go through here. If you're following this account, you might not want to after this. Just saying. You're going to find out. So, naturally, the internet's very excited about this. As you can see, this user, no one would be upset, too, because she is Wolverine. Now, what this person is referring to is that in the all-new, all-different Marvel, they did make X-23 Wolverine. Now, they did not, port her over as in, she was always Wolverine. She was using it while Logan was off somewhere else, and he granted her the title when he returned. And so, I don't know how you feel about that. I personally don't like it when a hero inherits their father's superhero name like that. It's okay to be the child of a superhero. I don't have a problem with that. That's pretty natural. But I kind of have a problem with, Superman and his son Superman and his other son also Superman. And then there's another one. I just, at what point, right? Who gets the name, right? Are we back to the first son gets the most of it? The first daughter gets the most of it? What happens? Are these now royal lineages that must compete for the throne of the name? See, this is the stupid concept that comes out of this. That these people have to, it's like the Batman problem. I do not want anybody but Bruce Wayne being Batman. Even Terry McGinnis is Batman Beyond. He's not Batman. He's Batman Beyond. Okay? I've never recognized Terry McGinnis as Batman. He's Batman Beyond. Is that a silly superhero name? Maybe, but I like Japanese tokusatsu, so those kind of naming conventions are around all the time. So I don't have a problem with Batman Beyond. BB, if you prefer. The BB in the night. Woo, right? But yeah, screw that character, right? Along with Static Shock, we're not going to acknowledge those ones, huh? DC, just going to let Spider-Man and all the Spider folk just style all over you forever. It's pathetic. Anyway, back to Wolverine. As you can see right here in the comics, she declares herself, I am the Wolverine, and he is not, because he surrendered the name to her. She says, X23, who like Wolverine, she says, actually, I'm the Wolverine. And he says, you tell him, kiddo. Bub. And there you go. He conceded it right there that whatever he is now, I don't know what he is. He's just guy in pointy hat, I guess. Pointy mask man. I don't know. Is he Claws, Patches, any number of the weird nicknames he had over the many millennia that he's been alive? Or, I don't know, 60 years, depending on who's smoking weed over at the Marvel office and decides, I shouldn't put that on weed. It's crack. We all know it's crack, right? We all know they're doing crack over there to come up with ideas like this, right? Well, let's go down further down the line and see what other people think about this. Now, we had the fantabulous Hernando here. Hernando. Wonderful Hernando. And he says, well, you will definitely see somebody else play Logan. And that's the truth. It says right here, he says right here, I can't see anybody else playing Logan but Hugh. Sorry, you saw a couple other people playing him, and it didn't go too badly. Henry Cavill, or Cavill, however you like to say it, the underwear model who used to play Superman, that guy is a fan favorite. They apparently really like the way that he does that whole, like, fist reload thing. I didn't know that wasn't what you do. That's how I always thought you were supposed to do it. You're supposed to pop your elbows, right? That's the point of that, right? Is to clear your joints. Because when you go out like that, it causes your elbow to snap, doesn't it? Right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me and Henry Cavill that have to clear our elbows before we kick ass. I don't know. But you can bet that you'll see Henry Cavill return. Most likely for a role a little more grand than Wolverine. I'm not so sure that they want to commit him to Wolverine because of, his enormity, all right? Wolverine's not known to be tall. That's kind of a hiccup. And Cavill has displayed that he can play characters that have a menacing edge to them, a menacing presence to them. His Superman, for instance, looks very dark and sort of, it kind of looks like Batman in the Superman costume. He just seems very dour and a lot of shadows underneath his eyebrows, to really cast his vision in darkness. A lot of hard shadows at the edges of his jaw, those sort of things. These are things he can't control, but this is how he was shown in the movie, and it made him look very dark, very dour in a way. Of course, muting the color palette as well helped that. Zack Snyder and his 16 Instagram filters. But I digress back to this, right? So you're going to have, like, different guys playing Wolverine still. This is a character who's obviously proven his merit, which is why I bring this to the test. If Chris Gore is right, if he's correct on this, Marvel will pass up making X23 the new Wolverine in Secret Wars and going forward, okay? So I want to point out this. Now, this guy right here, Brian, he says, yes, let's change every main male character into their female counterpart. And here it is. X-Men Update says it is the solution, right? That's the answer. It is the answer, and there it is. So if you just switch out Kamala for Biden, that's okay. You gender swap the president, gender race swap the president. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Perfect sense. And this is how this person operates, okay? It's just wild and free with whatever their heart desires. And the thing is that this is the kind of person that the MCU used to kneel to. This is the kind of person that Feige and the other creators wanted to abide by. You've got this other person here. It says, instead of recasting a new male Wolverine, let Hugh pass the torch to Daphne Keane after Secret Wars and let her be the main Wolverine on the franchise. Why? Why? Wouldn't it be better if they were able to have this sort of recreation of a father-daughter thing? They have a dysfunctional family inside of the comics. Doesn't mean it can't be sort of like the 11 and Sheriff What's-His-Face from Stranger Things, right? You know, Sheriff punched some people in the face, that guy. I don't know. I think it would work better if there was a father-daughter dynamic than just, bye, male counterpart. You suck. You had your chance. It's girl power time now. And that's what they do. So I don't agree with this. I don't think it's smart. But again, these are people pushing out here. As you can see, 22,000 likes on this. 22,000 likes. You know, John A. Douglas says, how about F no? How about F no? And that's what it is, right? The fans that enjoyed Marvel and Wolverine are Marvel and Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. I almost wanted to call it Marvel Jesus and Wolverine. It's stuck in my head. That's why I'm tripping up. I thought Deadpool, and my brain went, that's Marvel Jesus, and whatever. Deadpool and Wolverine. That's why the fans of this movie are pushing back on this, because people who didn't like the movie as much now want to see a woman come in and do everything that Hugh Jackman did. You notice how they're not pushing to replace Blade with a woman? You see that anywhere? Nobody's saying that Wesley Snipes needs to get out of the way and let girl power come through. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? But we do have a solution, right? So if they're going to push this kind of narrative, it should go both ways. And so I'd like to see a male Black Widow now. And I think Chris Pine would be excellent to play that role. You know, I really do. You get him doing a bunch of squats, right? And then the camera can just do that Fast and Furious butt tracking thing that it does in the opening of all their movies with him, right? I'm sure that'll go over well, right? That'll go over well. Yeah? Yeah, let's do that. Let's make it equal in both ways. And let's make him the Black Widow now, right? And then we'll make Shuri into a man. And that'll make everything better, you know? T'Challa's younger brother, who's very, very intelligent. We'll make him into a man. And we'll make Pepper into Pete, right? And Pete's a real nice fella, right? But he keeps Tony in line, right? How about that? And like I said, all different, all gay, right? So there you go. But this right here, I think we really need to sit down and consider, right? If they're going to push for this kind of stuff, then let's erase their women heroes and replace them with men. You don't see them doing that, now do they? They don't do this too often. They don't go out there and make sure to put a flag down and say, this female character should be a male now. And they say, like, women have been so underrepresented in cinema. And excuse you. Look at all of human recorded history, not just cinema. Women are typically in all of the art that we create. Men especially like women, okay? It's a weird thing. It blows the mind of most of the people who are replying to this kind of stuff on Twitter, right? But men like women, right? And so throughout history, they're the focus of what we put in our art. And it's no different in cinema. I would argue that there are more film hours of women on screen than men. And it's not even close. You can count that to be like to the power of 10, the power of many, if you will. Okay? So no, it has nothing to do with female representation, and it has nothing to do with female representation in leading roles. Just because you don't like that the woman is feminine and acts as a counterpart to the male lead does not mean that she is not the female lead of the movie. Just because you don't see her telling the man to shut up, sit down, get out of the way, it's girl power time now, just because you don't see that doesn't mean that she's not the female lead. And so there's no problem with Laura or X23, however you want to refer to her, staying as a woman. But this, as I said at the beginning, will be the test. You see this push on Twitter? It'll be the test for the new MCU. If Chris is right and his friends at Marvel aren't lying and they have cleaned out all the activists, we will not see Laura inherit the mantle of Wolverine, and that will stay his name, not a mantle handed down over and over and over again. Again, like I said, Superman and his son Superman and his other son Superman and his dog Superman. I know crypto exists. I'm just saying, it's the ridiculous level of handing out a name like it's the police badge you put on. I'm the sergeant today. I'm the Wolverine today. I'll put on another badge and I'll be the Spider-Man. Yeah, because it's the thing, right? It doesn't matter anymore. The name isn't important. And that might be a correction that new Marvel makes. It's been curious to me why Robert Downey Jr. was brought back to this, not necessarily on the logical level, but on the emotional level. The curiosity of it to me is that the SJWs running Marvel have made absolutely no effort to indicate that white men are okay. There's been absolutely no signal to that whatsoever. The closest we came was Disney acknowledging that they're out of sorts with the market. They're not in line with what their customers expect out of them. That was the closest we ever got out of them. But now, I don't know. I don't know. The tides may be shifting. We may be seeing something different, and Robert Downey Jr. may be issuing, you know, the change. He may be ushering in that change as Doom, you know? He acts as the Doom to the MCU. They introduced destroying one universe. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be possible to destroy an entire multiverse. It's comic book logic, by the way. So it doesn't matter. You can carry that thing around in your pocket. It doesn't need to be a big old scary glowy thing. Comic book logic. So, perhaps, just as Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark gave birth to the MCU proper, now I know Wesley Snipes started making Marvel movies as we understand them today, but the MCU officially recognizes Iron Man 1 as the beginning. So, perhaps Robert Downey Jr. returning to end the MCU and also act as father to the new MCU is more poetic than perhaps we previously thought. Don't go getting your hopes up. I know I'm talking a good game about this, because again, this is just a rumor. Somebody at lunch who had too many Mai Tais may have been like, we got rid of all those weird people at Marvel. Everything's cool now. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that these people are unreliable. I don't know them. And Chris didn't want to disclose who they are and what parts of Marvel they work in. So we're not exactly sure in the long run if this is true. But we have a test now. Keep your eyes peeled for these official producers, these different contributors to the MCU doing anything with Laura X23 in the Wolverine colors. As soon as you see that actress walking around in that yellow and blue, think about it, okay? Consider what it means. Ask questions, investigate. You'll find out, okay? But this is the test. Until the next one, guys, good luck out there.